how do you really do this kind of one-on-one virtual coffee with somebody and make it a really effective meeting so that it's not just a whole bunch of social meetings where nothing comes from it? Hey, I'm Donnie Boivin, the CEO and founder of Success Champions, and I'm on a mission to help as many people get to freedom through building a business as I possibly can. And the reason being is no one taught me as I was coming up. Building a business was the toughest thing that I've ever done in my life. And I made myself an island along the way because I didn't want people to know how bad I was at business. As my businesses grew, I understood that if somebody would just teach the things we all wish we knew as we were going through it, this world would be a better place. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm going to continue doing. So for me, all of my meetings are virtual coffees. I just love working here from the farm, and I don't want to drive. I don't want to go anywhere. And that's one of the coolest things in the world for me. As I was starting to figure out how to do these virtual coffees, let me tell you, I found myself once upon a time doing meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and nothing was coming from it. And that was simply to the fact that I didn't have a process, I didn't have a structure, and I really didn't have a goal other than get to know people. And that's just not a goal when you're talking about business and what you're trying to accomplish. Let me break this down in a way that some of you probably aren't going to like, but every virtual coffee, one-on-one meeting, or the likes is a sales call. Let me say it again. Every virtual coffee, one-on-one, anytime you meet with somebody one-on-one in a business situation, that is a sales call. Your job is to disqualify that person from your services. And the reason I say disqualify is it puts you in a state of mind where you're not trying to be this pushy salesperson. You're literally trying to decide, is this somebody I should make an offer to, or is this somebody I want to do business with? So to make this work effectively, you've got to first know what makes somebody a really good fit for your business. They got to have things like, can they afford it? Can they actually say yes to you? Will they engage and invest the time it takes to do whatever your service offer is? And my favorite one is, do you want to grab a cocktail with them? Is this somebody you want to hang out with? And what I found is if you can keep these four things in mind, you'll go in having a lot better conversation, because I've disqualified a lot of people because I didn't want to go have a cocktail with them. It's really that simple. And let's be honest, this mindset only works is if you have a plethora of people, the right people to talk to. So if you don't, this isn't going to work very well for you. So every meeting needs to have a point. So when I sit down across from somebody, I follow a very simple format. And that format goes like this. They will always go first. And I don't care what is brought up or said, they're always going to go first. I'm going to grab and start the meeting, and I'm going to literally say, hey, let's do this. Why don't you tell me your story? I'll tell you mine, and then we'll see what turns up. And the reason I want them to go first is I need to listen and make assumptions based on where they're at on their journey. You can make all kinds of assumptions. Like if somebody's only 1 year in business, they're probably broke and struggling. If somebody's more than 3 years in businesses, they probably have a couple people working for them. They've got some processes and systems filled out. They're 5+ years in business. Every time they're telling you something, you can make some assumptions. As you make these assumptions, they're stacking up against your qualification list. What would somebody be qualified to actually do business with you? After they tell their story, you need to tell yours. Your story needs to be short and to the point. It needs to take them on the hero's journey. It needs to say, here's where I was. This is what happened. Something bad happened. I learned this from that, and now I'm here, right? It's literally you went on a journey and came back, and now you're teaching them. So how this works is you literally say, hey, this is my story. I spent 20 years straight commission sales working for other people. Got tired of making other people wealthy, and I jumped out on my own and launched my own business. 6 months into the business, I almost lost everything I had because I didn't know how to be an actual business owner. Found podcasting. Podcasting taught me a lot about business because I was interviewing some top names in the world, and because of that, I couldn't have a bad setup when it came to everything. Podcasting taught me how to outsource, taught me how operations, it taught me how to communicate and marketing and message and branding, right? And I took all those skills and learn to build a business around it. Flash forward to where we are now. I'm the CEO and founder of Success Champions. We have one of the top podcasts in the world, 5 best-selling books, and I always jokingly say it, a partridge in a pear tree. And the reason I tell this story that way is I want them to know that I've been through it. We almost lost everything. We were able to turn everything around and we found success. It's not about bragging. It's about getting them to trust that I know some things that I'm talking about. I can get you to the level of where I currently am. And, they'll lean into the conversation. After I tell my story, and of course it's a little bit more elongated than that, but after I tell my story, I say one of my favorite things to do is help businesses grow. So if you're up for it, tell me about what your business is and let's see how far, we can get you to go. And you can change this phrase out for anything you want. You can say, my favorite thing is to help companies with their SEO. My favorite thing is to help people with their branding. My favorite thing is whatever your service you sell is. 90% of the time, they're going to say, okay, tell me about it or help me out. And when they do that, I'm going to immediately go, okay, tell me where your business is at. What's your structure? And it's so funny because there's only so many ways people can go with this. Some are going to try and impress you with where they're at, but I found more often than not that if you were vulnerable up front and told them the negative thing that happened to you, like me almost losing my farm, they'll almost more often than not tell you the real story. They'll say things like, man, I'm 3 years in, I'm still trying to figure things out. Sales are up and down, things are fluctuating, right? They will tell you what their struggle is because you're genuinely trying to help them. And that's a goal. You generally got to be invested with them. And then I'm going to spend the rest of that call doing nothing but helping them, offering advice, trying to get them where they need to go and get some of those thoughts that have been churning in their head into a pointed direction. And I can tell you that if you really vest your time with people and you really try and open these doors or open this thought process for them, they're going to lean in a lot more. If they don't want the advice and help, I'll flip it over to an introduction, conversation really quick. And I say, okay, cool. Then let's talk about introductions. Who do you need to meet? What industry refers you the most? Where do the last 5 clients come from, right? And I'm going to drill down so I can make them 3 or 4 introductions. And then I'm going to ask for my own introduction saying, this is who I need to be introduced to and be very specific about it. This is why you need to know what industry refers you the most so you can tell them. But if you go down the route where you're coaching and educating and helping them grow their business, by the time you get to that call, 1 of 3 things is going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is they're going to go, holy crap, man, this was awesome. How do we do more of this? The second thing that may happen is they'll go, wow, Donnie, thank you for all this information. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to go apply it and see what happens. And the third thing that's going to happen is they're going to look at you and say, thanks, appreciate it, I'm out, right? The people that lean in and are like, hey, how do we do more of this? Now you transitioned into a sales call, which simply sounds like, hey, did not mean to turn this into a sales call. Is it okay if I walk you through what some of my options and services are? And they'll lean in. The people that say they're going to go implement, cool, appreciate that. I'd love for you to reach back out to me and let me know how it worked. And the people that don't say anything, that just want to move on, let them move on. And here's the thing, you don't even have to become a salesperson at this point. You're getting them to lean into you, which allows you to have some phenomenal conversation and no harm, no foul. I will never make an offer to anybody who I haven't already qualified to be a good fit for me. So if they haven't freaking disqualified themselves out, I'm going to make them come to me. My move, if I do make an offer and somebody says, hey, not a fit, not what I'm looking for, cool, no problem. Or they say, hey, let me think about it. My move is always going to be, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Why don't you go try, implement, do, and we're going to call it a no for now. If something changes, you come back to me and we'll figure it out. What I've found is the less pushy, the more genuine you are, and the more willing you are, or you want to help people actually grow their business, get better at their brand, whatever you sell, the more they will lean into the conversation. And if you do a lot of these where you have a very pointed purpose to the conversation over and over again, you're going to realize that your sales process shrinks way down, your conversation's very much the same, and you're just going to keep moving forward. So try this out. Let me know how it works. It's worked really, really well for me. And if you're looking to really level up your business, you need to check out Success Champions. We created these business peer groups that bring phenomenal, absolutely amazing business owners together, and we're 100% focused on business growth. You do not need to do what I did, which was make myself an island. You need to get around other business owners that are going for it and are leveraging each other through collaborations, through masterminds, through networking, through introductions, through referrals, for people that are just leveling up and getting after it. This isn't something for people who are part-timing it. This isn't for network marketing or anything like that. This is for serious business owners that are ready to rock and roll. So if it makes sense, head over to Success Champions, go visit one of our peer groups, and you're going to be blown away by the experience and how much we are already invested in your business. If you got any tips, tricks, any value out of this, please make sure you're subscribed. Ring the bell so you can get notified when new things come up, and comment below, because those comments mean a lot to me and they really help interaction, help me figure out which direction I need to continue to go with this, and share this out with somebody who needs to hear this kind of message. And as always, love you, mean it. See you, bye.